All right, welcome to the Feedback Podcast, everybody. My name is Back. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. This is episode 273. Did I say 3? 4?
I thought you said 4.
God damn it. It's 4. 274. I always fuck this up. A couple of announcements. Number one, Record Play is coming back on Sunday, November 27th at the Pershing Hall. I'll be announcing who the guest is. I might have a secret guest. And it's the Sunday during the day, so it's like 12 to 4, and the theme is going to be 90s pop music. So it's the trivia. You come in, you play the game as a team now, and there's some trivia. There's some finish the rhymes, some dance battles, lip sync battle, all that good stuff. Just follow Record Play Live on Instagram. Tickets, by the time this comes out, the tickets will be live. So get your tickets because we're going to sell out. We always do. Okay, so get your tickets. It's going to be a fun show. Sunday, November 27th at Pershing Hall. Go to recordplay.live for tickets. All right. Second announcement. Go to our YouTube channel. I know I keep saying that, but I ain't getting any views because I suck at marketing. And I got all the videos up there so you can put faces to the people, to the names you've been hearing on this podcast. Recently,
I'm skinny.
Yeah, we're going to say that.
I'm skinny. And you don't know if I'm lying unless you look at the camera.
Yes, go see what my secret guest looks like. You've probably seen him around. Let's see, who I had recently? Ty was on. Ty Wynn was on.
You should see what he looks like. It's
yeah. He has a joke about it. I think it's pretty funny. It's pretty on point, actually.
Yeah.
It's really on point. Aaron Cheatham was on recently. Just go back to the archive.
He's an Asian guy.
Yes, he's Asian. He has a unibrow.
Yeah.
You got to see that to believe it.
Yeah,
so go see.
He looks like just like Yao Ming, but with a unibrow. So look.
All right. So my guest on today's podcast, fresh from his special and fresh from Skankfest, which I talked about in the previous episode, but we might dive more into it because you're on. I got Mike Eaton in the building. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Fun to be here. I'm excited to talk about nightlife and fun.
That's all you do?
Yeah. That's most of my life.
Same here. That was most of my life. It's like there's something about going out and nightlife that make people act different.
Yeah.
Like, it's like people become this, like a caricature of themselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's an archetype of, the drunk dude,
you mean
the douchebag.
Yeah.
The douchebag, the stoner, the hooker, the whore.
Yeah.
The hot bitch on the dance floor, the bartender who doesn't know what a Negroni is. Like, there's a lot of those. So it's always funny. How was your Skankfest? I want to get into that first.
Boy, howdy.
Where do you want to start? Back?
Dude, so I flew in Wednesday because I knew I wanted to have like a night's rest and be in Vegas and get acclimated before the kickoff party.
Right.
So I get in Wednesday, we go out, we have like some great food, check in the Airbnb. Thursday, during the day, I go and I record a podcast with my friend, and then I go to the kickoff party, and I get my badge, and someone gave me some mushrooms, and then they have an open bar in the green room. So first off, I'm like, I wonder what the booze situation is going to be for Skankfest. If I'm going to have to buy a lot of alcohol, I'm not going to do that because Vegas alcohol is expensive.
Really? It's known for that? Like if you go to the liquor store?
Oh, I mean, like, I don't ever sneak alcohol in places. I, like, buy stuff.
Oh, at the bar, you mean?
Yeah, like, if I'm going, like, because I drink, like, White Claws and shit. So, like,
yeah.
So I get to the place, I check in, I get, my badge, and when I go in and I buy a White Claw. It's like fucking $8. I was like, God damn, okay.
Vegas upcharge.
Whatever. And so then I'm watching, I'm waiting for, like, the party to start, and then I hear that there's a green room. I was like, ooh, interesting. And then I walked up to the green room, and that's where I met some nice people who gave me mushrooms. A dude was up there and had a bunch of dabs and a dab rig, so we took some of those.
Oh, wow.
Kratom was one of the sponsors, so I started eating some of those.
Was it you that told me what Kratom was?
So Kratom is like a root. It's
okay.
Like a plant thing, and there's veins of it. So there's white vein, red vein, and green vein. And depending on which one you take, has different effects. One of them is kind of like a downer, like an opiate. One of them is like an upper, like a speed. And one of them I have never tried and I don't know anything about.
But it's supposed to give you some kind of high.
Yeah, it's like a nice little feeling.
Okay, is it like better or worse than a hookah?
It's more impactful than a hookah.
Because hookahs don't do shit. So okay,
Correct.
I didn't try the Kratom when I was there.
It's fine. They only gave you a little bit, and like it's also to each their own. Like some people are very sensitive to drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. So I like even
I can
just
tell.
normal stuff I can take a bunch of,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be fine. I mean psychedelics they'll get me, but like edibles, I can eat 200-300 milligrams and be fine just because weight and tolerance and stuff.
Right.
So, so I eat some kratom, I have some mushrooms, I take some dabs. I'm smoking my pen, and we ran by the dispensary and grabbed some stuff. And it's always nice to be in like a legal weed state because then everybody's all like, "Look what we got at the store."
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
I totally forgot because I'm like, one, I rushed, so I got there Thursday, and from the airport with Yoni and Christy, we went
Yeah.
straight to Planet 13.
Perfect.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a bunch of shit. And then by the time I got to the hotel, by the time I got to the first venue,
Yeah.
I hadn't eaten anything, and so I was scared to smoke or drink, and I had all this shit, and I had a headache and a stomach ache because I had shitty pizza on
Yeah.
Fremont Street,
That'll
and
get you.
yo, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. As soon as I walked in that venue, I took a shit.
Yeah. Dude, it's there's a lot of dangerous food in Vegas because of the street food. And like that's the other thing about Dirty Vegas is it's just like a one big scam. They sell fake weed. They
What?
just now started making it so that they have to tell you that it doesn't actually have THC.
Fake weed, like off the street or in a store?
In the stores that say that they're dispensaries that are right there on the strip.
Uh-huh.
All of them say that it's 60% THC fucking dabs and all that other shit. And it's just Delta 8 and CBD. It's all fake. There's no THC.
What?
It's not real weed. It's like hemp-derived bullshit. And it's insane. And they just passed a law recently making them have to announce it. But it's the same way with all the food and the fucking everything there. It's just a scam to try and get you to spend money.
Yeah, I get
So,
yeah.
So that's the energy. So that first night, I eat all those, and then I'm drinking and having fun, and then Palmer Squares do rap, and that's really good. Crack Amico raps, that's amazing. By this time, I've had so they didn't have that many White Claws in the green room, but what they did have was my weakness, which is lots and lots of vodka. And there was a very sweet woman named Kim that I gave her 20 at the beginning of the night, and then she made me vodka ginger ales that were like vodka ginger ale.
Yeah.
Like they could just
like not even a
Yeah.
splash,
she made the can look at my
like
drink,
a flick. She had a flick of ginger ale. In
Yeah,
your drink.
she looked at it sternly and then looked at my drink. That was as much ginger ale was in there. But so I'm pretty tanked, having a good time. Everlast goes up.
Right, I remember that.
He played forever, it felt like.
I took off.
So the party, I got there for the party for check-in stuff right around 6 p.m. I did not leave until 2:30 a.m. So I was drinking and partying, having fun, and then I hadn't eaten anything since like 5:30. And they did karaoke at the end.
Oh, you did the Big J karaoke?
Yeah, so they do karaoke. I don't ever sing when I'm at karaoke because this is my voice. And it's not a good
I
one.
missed that shit.
It's not good for singing.
Oh, damn.
And they had signed a bunch of people up, and I guess in my like party, happy, go with the flow nature, I was like, Samya, fuck, I'll do it. And then I sang a Third Eye Blind song terribly. But it's a song I know all the words to, at least, which was good. But
Was there a mosh pit?
no, there was just some people in front of me that they kind of sang along to part of it.
Okay.
It was cool, but then after me, the guy that did the puppets for Team America World Police came out and did songs with the puppets.
I saw that, yeah.
And it was amazing. So that was the first night. After that all ends and all of the festivities are done inside, there's a giant party out back. So I'm out smoking blunts and drinking with everybody still. And then I was like, yo, I need to pass out. I'm fucking tired.
Were you staying at the Nugget?
No, I was staying at an Airbnb with a few other comics.
Okay.
So I left, and I remember them helping me get to an Uber. And I remember getting home, and I remember going and laying down and going to sleep. The next morning, I'm like, man, what happened after? Like, 'cause it's kind of fuzzy after karaoke. I did not remember that I got a hot dog somewhere, but I had a Venmo transaction for buying a hot dog. I was like, okay, that's that's pretty cool. And this is a recurring theme because I was just in Oklahoma City, and Saturday night we had a really, really fun time. And afterwards, we partied really hard. And I woke up the next morning after Ubering back to my hotel room, and I woke up to look and see how my night ended. Picture of a hot dog that I got somewhere.
Oh, this is the easiest hangover plot ever.
This is like my thing. It's like, I guess as soon as I black out, I'm like, I need to go home, and then I'm like, find a hot dog. Like, call an Uber and find a hot dog. That's my parachute, dude. But yeah, so night one of Skankfest, I went hard in the paint, passed out around 3, and then next day I'm recording my podcast with Joey Avery. So I get to the venue and I find it, and I'm just like a fucking just chugging waters. And then I didn't have a spot until midnight.
Really?
Yeah, my first spot was midnight Friday night.
What stage?
Tank.
Oh, the tank, yeah.
So I was like, all right, like, let's check it out. So I get there and I go and check in with Zach, who's running the tank. And I'm like, hey, like, the reason I'm at Skankfest is to do comedy. I love to party, and I'm gonna party, but number one priority is the jokes.
Right.
And so I'm not going to drink or do any party fun stuff till after I've gotten off stage. Because it's not worth it.
Right. It's a big opportunity to be on that stage.
It is. It's a huge opportunity. And also, like, I don't want that to be what everyone thinks of me for. Yes, the first night I partied super hard and everyone knows me as a big party animal. But then also, like, I only had 2 sets booked for the whole Skankfest, and I ended up getting to do 6. And I did really well on all of them. And I had a lot of fun. So, like, you can do both. You just got to be responsible. You got to party the right way. So I didn't start partying on Friday night until after my set. But then Friday night, big fun time. I think I probably got back to the Airbnb at 5 a.m.
Blackout, hot dog?
No blackout, no hot dog.
White Castle?
One of the nights we did go to White Castle, and I told everyone it was a bad idea.
It is a bad idea.
I think it was that night. It was that night because we left, because White Castle closes at like 3:30 or whatever there on the strip.
Yeah.
So, because that's what it was. Yeah. So we partied. The goddamn comedy jam was incredible. That is so much fun to watch comedians get to be rock stars and sing songs. But so, yeah, the big group that was staying at the house, we're all fucking tanked. And we all walked to White Castle and ate White Castle. And I ate like 2 bites of mine and was like, I forgot this is the worst thing on the planet.
It was my first time having it. I've heard of it.
Yeah.
For some reason, I kept getting White Castle and Carl's Jr. Mixed up for some reason. But and when I asked somebody and they're like, no, it's all sliders. I'm like, is there anything else in there? No, it's just like a patty, slider, and maybe some cheese.
Yeah.
But it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's mostly bread.
Yeah, correct. So they didn't used to be bad. Because I distinctly remember, like, the first few times I had White Castle being like, oh man, this fucking rules.
How old were you? Is a better question.
Probably 16-ish.
Okay, yeah.
18-ish.
Yeah.
But I still had, like, I had a pretty good palate for someone that age. But we all went to White Castle and we all decided collectively, this is fucking terrible. And then everybody's complaining their stomach hurts and we go home. So then it's Saturday. Saturday I have no sets on the books. I have nothing scheduled. However, because there are other people there that are partying really crazy, and some of them are famous people, and so they have other stuff they're going to do, there are spots that occasionally open at the tank.
Right.
So I went and hung out there for a few hours, and there was a spot where someone was running behind, so they needed 5 minutes filled. So I got to go do 5 minutes on Saturday. So I did that, and was like, all right, cool. I got a set in today. I didn't have one planned. Party time. So I start party time. I run into a guy. He gives me some mushroom capsules. They're great. And then I run into another person who I won't say, but they gave me an edible that had mushrooms and weed in it.
That's the thing?
Yeah, I guess. I didn't know that, but I'm excited.
I didn't
about
either.
It. Yeah,
I just found out.
Makes sense.
I missed out. God.
It makes sense that you could do it, but it was like a Fruity Pebbles Rice Krispie treat thing.
Of course it was.
So I ate that. It's delicious. And then I ended up having a chocolate bar that had mushrooms and Molly in it. And then
That had to be homemade.
several, yeah, I assume all of them were. They were
Yeah.
great. And I had several drinks. And at like midnight ish, I think, my brain like started like really like, you did too much. That was too many things. I was like, damn, okay. And I get that because like sometimes you get excited and you're in the party mode and then you take all the fun stuff and then you forget all of those things make your senses heightened. So you're going to experience a lot more inputs. And if you're in a place like Skankfest where there's already so many inputs, for someone like me, it's very easy to just get sensory overload and be like, oh no.
And then what? You have panic attack or
No, I'm experienced enough as a traveler on those seas at this point.
I'm an expert at this.
No, I know when it's coming because I can feel that first wave of, oh, this is about to be a problem.
But it's not like you feel like throwing up or you have a headache. It's usually like oh, there's people around. Like this is freaking me out.
Yeah. So what it started as was, oh man, people are bumping into me. They're in my personal space, and I don't want them to be there.
Right.
Let me see if I can go somewhere where that's not the case. And then I got recognized by like a few people that were like, "Hello, let's take a picture." And I was like, and then I realized that was only going to become more of that as the night went on.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I had found like a bottle of water and was chill and by myself in a corner, there was still the possibility that people were going to come up and interact me, and I wasn't going to have any control over that environment. Whereas when you're normally at like a concert or shit, you could just kind of chill.
Yeah.
You know, like, cause the aim's that way.
Right. Exactly.
And this would be that way normally because all the aim should be at what's on stage. But I've also been on stage this whole time and I've got a fucking artist badge around my neck. So I realized that wasn't a situation that was going to be conducive if things were to go south. So I got in an Uber and went back to the Airbnb. However, when I went to get in the Uber, my phone screen had started. Have you done psychedelics much?
Mushrooms a few times. That's it.
Have you looked at your phone during where the screen's like all crazy looking?
No.
So it's more so for me during acid, but I suppose some of the mushrooms or the edibles with the mushrooms in them that I took them, it could have been like a very visual batch. Mushrooms are very varied in like what they'll do. But my phone was looking really like trippy. And I was like, whoa. And I couldn't like get it in my brain to figure out like how to get an Uber to get me to where somewhere I knew where it was.
Right.
It's like, I'm going to go here, and then you just got to get me here, bud. This is where I'm standing, and it was right by a light, and so I was like, it'll be perfect. He'll stop at the red light. But he had to drive by like 4 or 5 times because it kept being green, and he can't stop there. So finally, he's like, hey, man, sorry I had to drive by, but it's a ticket if I stop here while it's green. And I'm like, no worries. It was just crazy for me because I wasn't in like a bad place. I was just tripping. So I got in the car, and he's like a nice older guy, and it was a really nice car. I don't remember what it was, but it smelled really good, and he had jazz on and had lots of pretty lights. And he started driving me back to the Airbnb, and I was like,
like a big baby, just
so fucking happy. I'm tweeting like, you guys ever notice how smooth jazz fucking rips? You know? And the guy's getting close to my place, and I was like, hey, man, I know you've already been driving a bunch, and I'll tip you, but can you do like a couple laps? This is just like really nice. And he was like, absolutely. And he turned the music up a little bit. I was like, ooh. So I'm just having like a fucking time in the back of the Uber, and then I drop off. I'm like, hey man, thank you so much. And then I go inside and I lay down and I just watched music videos on a playlist of trippy music videos. And was like, this is great, and fell asleep.
damn. I mean, look, I'll say this: when you're on something, for me, it's weed. Like if I'm high and listening to music, and even if it's a song that I know, I appreciate it like 20 times more.
Oh yeah.
If it's a song that I don't know, like if I listen to that song, especially when I'm driving, man, I'm driving high now. I'm giving away whatever, but like. I'm so into the song and into the music that I'm actually paying more attention to the road. Like I'm not like on autopilot.
Yeah.
Like I'm really into the music. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe and I have a big dumb smile on my face the whole time. So I totally get it. Like especially if it's a genre of music that you're not even used to listening to.
Yeah.
Like God damn, I know this.
Well, like I love smooth jazz, but it's one of those things where like, who fucking even makes that? You know, like I gotta just type in smooth jazz on Spotify,
Right.
and then the playlist, 80% of it is not even the shit I'm talking about. And then I find like the one song on there. Like I'm not gonna do all that. I'm just gonna listen to music that makes me like. You know who Key Glock is?
No, but yes, I had a story about him.
I like Key Glock because when I listen to his music, I want to do crime. And so when I turn his songs on, I'm like, let's go rob people and banks and kill cops and stuff because the music's fun. It's not that I'm gonna do that. It's just like, I'm gonna do crime. You know what I'm saying? So
Key Glock, he came to Vulcan about a year ago.
Hell yeah.
Well, I didn't know who he was, and there was a comedy show beforehand. And then some kid, I was just chilling upstairs at Vulcan, and some kid came up to me, looked like you too. And
Are you sure it wasn't me? Because I was at the Key Glock concert.
No, but somebody. No, I don't think it was you. It was some dude was like, "Yo, you standing for Key Glock?" And I'm like, "Who?" And I heard, and the whole time I thought he said Quinoa. And I'm like,
you stand for Quinoa?
I'm like, who the fuck? What kind of rapper name is Quinoa? So I kept laughing the whole time. He's like, no, Key Glock, like the key and the Glock. And he went like this to me. Yeah. And I'm like, no. And he goes, no. And he goes, yes, 2 million followers. I'm like, that don't mean shit to me. Mm-hmm. Like, does that mean, is he good? Because if he was good, I would know about him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to be a fan if it's that good. I don't have to be a fan, but I know there's a dude named Key Glock out there doing shit. And that night, he went up to do, so Key Glock went up to do sound check or whatever, and I walk out, and there's at least like 100 kids outside the door at Vulcan like this, waiting for the door to open. And it was like some fraternity who got the place, whatever. Yeah. It was all white kids. Yeah. And I'm like, holy fuck, this is Key Glock? I gotta go. I'm not sticking around.
You didn't stay?
Fuck no.
You're crazy.
No. The anger in their eyes alone. I'm like, foolish. Look, white kids want to do crime. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
But we're not going to do crime.
I know, but thing. No.
We're just saying like, let's do crime. They're fucking UT students. You know what their version of crime is? Drugging and then raping women. That's their crime. You're safe.
And jaywalking.
Yeah.
Look, I'm like, I ain't got time for this. I can't take it seriously. I was like, no. Maybe I'll check it out on my own, but not at a concert.
Just play the song Since 6, but the S in 6 is the number 6.
Of course it is.
But it's fine. It's really good. Do you like Denzel Curry at all?